So Corelli, do you mean to tell me that a modulation is the new tonal set? True or false?
Is it true?
Fifth poster Corelli. A new tonal set is the consequence of a modulation. Modulation is the process by which the change of tonal center or key occurs.
My dear Corelli, you are aware there is such a thing as a key, such as C major, where the tonal center or tonic is the note C.
Here, Corelli. You can sightsee, can't you?
Quiet, you buffoons! Them Germans, stupid Vivaldi. I understand tonal center and how all the other harmonies in a key pull back to it, especially the dominant chords major fifth and the diminished seventh.
Well then, you should understand modulation from a key to its closely related keys. Easy enough.
Wait, what's a closely related key?
I'll show you, Pisano.
So what you're gonna want to do is draw a field of 6 around a key that you were in.
For example, if you're in the key of C major, the 5 keys surrounding it are A minor, F major, D minor, G major, and E minor.
Notice that all those keys are either the same key signature as C major or one flat or sharp difference.
Oh yes, I see. A minor is C's relative minor, F is C's subdominant, and D minor is F's relative, while G is C's dominant and E minor is G's relative.
It seems you do have a brain there, my fellow Italiano.
Now that you understand the field of 6, it's necessary to inform you that there are 2 general types of modulation. First, common chord or pivot chord modulation mostly takes place between chords of closely related keys. The second is chromatic modulation, but let's come back to that.
See, in pivot chord modulation, there is just that. A pivot chord which has diatonic function in both the old and new keys and is the sort of doorway between the two.
Oh, I see. And how do I locate this pivot chord?
Good question.
During your analysis of a piece of music, you look for the first chord no longer in the old key, and clearly in the new one. This one. From there you go back 1 chord, and you should find the pivot, the chord that functions in both the new key and the old.
And keep in mind the pivot chord modulation tends to ride the predominant, a 2 or a 4 chord of a new key. Going to a 5 to a 1 afterwards, or a cadence, is a good sign you've modulated.
As a consistent appearance of accidentals.
You mean like that?
Bravo!
Wunderbar! You see,
Now you must try a chromatic modulation. A modulation where the Harbinger chord is often preceded by a chord functional in neither tonality, only functional in the old tonality and not the new one.
Not the new one.
How about a chromatic third modulation? Here it comes.
yes, notice that it seems abrupt, bold, almost shocking.
Yes, well, it seems like you've got it, my young countryman.
Hold it, one more question. How do I know if a modulation has occurred or if it's simply a tonicization, a brief change in tonal center?
Fantastic question. As we've already discussed, cadences in the new key and consistent appearance of accidentals are good signs that you've modulated.
But it's really about what comes after the modulation and tonization that tells you for certain which has occurred.
If you hear what sounds like a Harbinger chord but only lasts for 1 or few beats, tonicizes a chord other than your original tonic, and you find yourself back at the original tonality at cadence, chances are you have it modulated.
What is it, Corelli?
Now I know all your secrets and I'll become a greater, more famous composer than you.